Today I'm at King's Cross Station in central London, and I'm not here to have a look at platform 9 3/4, which is where Harry Potter and all of his chums go to Hogwarts from. I'm actually here to go to this place behind me, Rails, and this is a restaurant in the Great Northern Hotel at King's Cross Station, and it serves a really good afternoon tea. It's been recommended to me. Now, interestingly, this is a mid-priced afternoon tea, so it's nowhere near as expensive as some of the other ones that I've been to, but it's meant to be very good. So let's go and check out what the afternoon tea is like here at Rails. So here we are inside Rails at the Great Northern Hotel, and I have to say this place got a very cool vibe about it. It sort of feels like stepping back in time. They've got some nice music on, nice lighting, really nicely laid out. So it's quite upmarket. It feels pretty posh actually. Now the afternoon tea here is a bit different to the ones at some of the hotels. So the menu's a little bit shorter, but and we've actually got a special menu on today. It's a special Chelsea Flower Show menu. So we'll talk about that when the things arrive. But I wanted to show you this, which is the normal menu. So this is the usual menu. We're not having it today because it's Chelsea Flower Show week. What I like about it is that they've shown the provenance of all of the different things. So you can't see it on here, but basically the sandwiches, it's showing that the smoked salmon came from Scotland, and it's got the rail track on here, so it's showing you the link to the history of this place being the Great Northern Hotel, being part of King's Cross Station from 1854 it was built. So we've got all sorts of different things, including the scones from Devon down at the bottom here in the southwest. So I quite like this touch that they sort of a nod to the heritage of this place and talking about the rail history. Quite a nice little touch. But as I say, we're not having that menu today, we're having a different menu. The teas are a bit different here as well. You only get one pot of tea, but the price is a lot lower. So the total cost for this afternoon tea is actually coming in at £42.50, which is pretty much half of what you would pay in the really posh places. But the trade-off for that is that you only get your tea once. If you want more tea, you can get it, but you have to pay for it. So there's a little menu of tea. We've got 4 black teas, oolong, a couple of green teas, rubios, and then 4 mint ones. So I've gone for the English breakfast, and the cameraman's gone for Darjeeling. So another little nice touch on the table is that they've got this little timer here, and it shows you theoretically how long it takes to brew the perfect cup of tea. So it's 3 minutes for the green one, 4 minutes for the brown one, and 5 minutes for the strong one. So theory is when your tea comes, you tip this over and you decide how strong you want your tea. So quite a nice little touch. So first impressions of this place, really quite good. Just waiting for the food to arrive, so I'll see you when it does. The afternoon tea and the tea, everything's all arrived all together, so it's very exciting. It does look good. We'll go through the details individually as we go through each course. But got my tea here, and it's real tea leaves, so you have to use the strainer, so I thought I'd start off with a little bit of tea. This is the English afternoon blend. So let's have a quick taste of that, see what it's like. Oh, it's very smooth, quite hot. Got a good amount of it as well, because you only get one pot, but that should see me through. I'm not going to bother with the timer. I'll turn it over for a bit of fun, but not going to bother timing that. Okay, so let's start off with the sandwich selection. So if I just remove this from here. So we've got 2 special sandwiches and then couple of standard ones. I'm going to refer to the menu to make sure that I get it all correct. So we start off with lemon, thyme, roasted beef sirloin and horseradish. So that's this one on a classic white bread. Now, the size of the sandwiches here, they are massive. So that's probably at least 50% bigger than you get in most places. I'll put this down for a second. I'll just try this. So beef with horseradish is a classic afternoon tea sandwich. Pretty chunky, this. It's quite nice. It's quite bready. If you have a look at the proportion of bread to filling, there's quite a lot of bread there compared to the filling. So it's nice. I would have liked the bread to be a little bit thinner, I think. It's quite tasty though. Quite pleased with that. You don't get beef on all of the menus because beef's quite expensive these days. Pretty good start. Now, I'll go with, I'll finish off having this cucumber one. These are absolutely massive. So this is cucumber and cream cheese. These sandwiches, that's like half a loaf of bread almost. So we've got the filling, looks like it's going to be quite a lot of bread versus the cucumber and cream cheese, but let's see. Oh, that's nice. There's a good crunch to it. Got a good amount of cucumber in there. They're quite filling, these sandwiches, because they've got so much bread in them. I mean, you get your money's worth. There's plenty of food in there. Now, I'm going to have one of these specials. So we've got smoked salmon, dill and lemon creme fraiche on spinach and basil bread. So, interestingly, this is smoked salmon sandwich that's been rolled up. Oh, sorry, I've just dropped just dropped into the cameraman's water there. Sorry about that, cameraman. We'll have to get you a new glass for that. Yeah, it's a weird way to serve a sandwich, but I quite like it. Quite fun. And the spinach bread's it's sort of like a roulade, the way they've done it. That's good. And that's the highlight of the afternoon tea so far for me. First two sandwiches were okay, but that's really lifted it to a different level. Quite a bit of artistry in that. Quite impressed with that. Quite nice. Okay, the last one is this small little tart, which is an asparagus and chive tartlet. So, looks quite well done. Let's see. Oh, it's warm. Got a good crunch to it. Pastry's nicely crispy. Filling's pretty good. Yeah, it's quite good. So, I think overall, as a starter, these 4 little sandwiches, you only get 4. Quite often you get 5, maybe sometimes 6. But it is a lot cheaper, this afternoon tea. So, but the quantity of food is probably more than you get at some afternoon teas because we've got these massive sandwiches. So I'm going to finish off these. I think it's a pretty decent start to this afternoon tea. So finish this off. Cameraman can get theirs, get a new glass of water for him. And we'll see you for the next course, which is the best part of any afternoon tea, the scones. It's now time for my favourite part of any afternoon tea, the scones. Now, I like the presentation of these scones. I always like it when there's a bit of mystery around the scones. They're hidden in this nice serviette and served with some jam and cream. Now, I asked our server if he could have some more, and he's given us an extra portion. So we've got one each, which I think is good because not quite enough there for 2 people. So let's have a little peek in here. So we've got plain scone, pretty big actually, nicely coated on the top. Looks good, feels good. So that, and then hopefully this one's going to be a raisin scone. Yeah, I can see a raisin peeking through the side here. So let me put that back on there. So as we all know by now, don't cut your scones. We're going to try and break it. Now, there's usually a natural break. It looks like it's going to be top heavy, that one. I'll see if I can break it here. Yeah, it is. So I've got a sort of 1/3, 2/3 split there. That's usual. Still quite warm, these scones. You can feel the warmth in them. Not a lot of fruit in there. There is one raisin I can spot, but not a great deal. Let's have a look at this other one just to see. This looks like it'll break better. Yeah, that's just a plain scone. Okay, so I've got my scones. Strawberry jam today. Looks pretty good. Nice and thick. So I'm going jam first today. Classic. Let's whap it a bit on. Okay. A lot of jam on here. I'll use a separate knife. I don't have any spoons today, so I'll use a knife. Oh, the cream's nice. Oh, that's really nice. It's sort of, that is room temperature butter consistency, which is perfect if you're going to scone. So plenty of that on. Does look like good cream. Quite looking forward to that. So looks pretty appetizing. Let's see what it tastes like. It's a really good scone. Really like that. It's really light. Still got the warmth in it. It's holding together well. We haven't got any bits falling off it. The jam's decent. Quite a nice jam. The cream's really good. That's really good. Okay. I'll try this raisin scone. It doesn't really look like it's got much in it. I'll try that bit with the raisin in it just to see if it tastes any different. I don't think it will. But just for the sake of finishing off all the different parts of this scone service, I'll do it. Oh dear, I've mixed up my jam and my cream now. I'll be getting told off about that, but we've got one each, so the cameraman's got his own one anyway, so we'll go with that. I do prefer a raisin one. Just gives you that little bit extra, a bit of sweetness, bit of chew. Also, because that's the top half, it's a lot thinner. That's a lot nicer. But overall, pretty good scones. I'm quite impressed with that. I like the presentation. They're a good size, good consistency. They taste really nice. The jam's good. Got a decent amount of cream. We can get more if we want it. So overall, pretty impressed with the scones course. So carry on with my tea. So Cameron's going to have theirs, and we'll see you at the end for the cakes. It's now time for the cake selection. So let's have a look at what we've got here. So let me just get the menu to tell you exactly what all of these cakes are. So we have got rose and raspberry white chocolate delice, which I think is this one, which looks like a sort of tall cake. Lavender and blueberry muffin, which is this one. Chamomile and lemon choux bon, which is that one. And strawberries with cream. So let me, oops, try to drop them all. I'll start off with the muffin. So this is lavender and blueberry muffin. I quite like the look of it. Looks quite a decent cake. Quite nicely done on the top, bit of blueberry. Not quite sure what that is. I'll put that to one side. It's quite large. Got a lot of eating in this. We have a little bit of blueberry in there. Got a bit of blueberry in the sponge as well, which is quite nice. Let's see what it tastes like. Now, unfortunately, at this point, I had a problem with the camera and it stopped recording the audio. So we've still got all of the video footage and I'm going to have to do a voiceover. But I can tell you that this blueberry and lavender muffin was really quite tasty. It was quite sticky. It tasted predominantly of blueberry. I couldn't really get any lavender whatsoever. It had blueberries on the top, it had a blueberry cream, and it went down really well with the tea. So a bit of cake and tea, you can't really beat that. That is a classic British tradition. So next up was the rose and raspberry white chocolate delice, which was the 3-tier cake. Now, I had a bit of a problem removing that from the tier. It was stuck at the bottom because it was quite sticky. And you can see that the bottom came off when I picked it up. But it's quite an impressive cake, nicely layered, had a very thick jelly layer at the top with raspberry in it, and then had a couple of sponges and a coloured sponge. So overall, a very impressive cake. I've said before, it's always a good sign when you go somewhere, if they make a cake that it's stronger to make yourself. Now, I popped all of this in, half of it, and I can tell you that it was really very tasty. It tasted predominantly of raspberry. That was what the jelly on the top had infused through it, so it was strongly a raspberry flavour. But it also had a good hint of rose that came afterwards. So it was a really well-balanced cake, very impressive. I was quite impressed with the quality of that, really quite good. So overall, the first two both went down very nicely with the tea, and that's the whole point of an afternoon tea, is to have some of the tea. Now, next up on this dessert list was strawberries with cream, which I wasn't really looking forward to because I'd already had quite a lot of food and we'd had a lot of cream with the scones, and this was basically 2 levels of cream. There were white cream at the top, then there was a layer of strawberries, like a couple of slices of actual strawberry, and then more cream at the bottom. So this wasn't really what I was looking for. I mean, it'd be very easy to make this at home, and it didn't have a very strong flavour. It had some strawberries at the top, which was really the only flavour, and the cream just tasted of cream. But as I said, I think putting a cream dessert on just after you'd had strawberries and cream probably isn't really the best idea from a menu planning perspective. Now, the final one of the desserts was the chamomile and lemon choux bon. And choux pastry is a very light pastry which puffs up and then enables you to fill it. So this had been filled with cream, but flavoured cream. It was chamomile flavoured cream with some lemon curd in there as well. And the choux bon had a bit of lemon coating on there too. You can see the lemon curd in the centre there. There's a good portion of it. This was by far, I think, the best dessert. Really tasty, really light, really flavoursome, the type of dessert that I would definitely choose. So I think that was the best one. The rose and raspberry white chocolate delice was also very delicious. I wasn't that impressed with the strawberries and cream option, but overall I thought the desserts were pretty decent, quite good. I enjoyed them. They went down well with the tea, so the cameraman was about to have his. So here I am at the end of the meal here at Rails. I've got the bill. So let's have a look at the bill first, because I think it's important to keep in mind how much this meal was. So the lift price for this, £42.50. Didn't get any sort of deal today. So it was £85 for the two of us, plus a service charge of 12.5%, which was £10.63. So total of £95.63. So we put that into context. Usually these afternoon teas, if I'm going to, you know, somewhere like Harrods or the Ritz or the Dorchester or one of the many that I've been to, it's usually close to £200. So it's basically around half the price of what it was if I was going somewhere like that. The big question is it value for money? Was it as good proportionately than those afternoon teas? Well, let's have a quick run through of what we got. So we had the first course with the sandwiches. So we had 2 sandwiches, which was the beef one, and what was the other one? There's a beef one. Let me just refer back to the menu, and a cucumber. That's right, cucumber. Then we had the salmon roulade, which was the round one, and the little tart. So only 4 items, so less than you would normally get. I have to say the sandwiches weren't my favourite. They were a bit too big, a bit too much bread, not enough filling. So didn't really like the sandwiches, but the roulade was nice, the salmon roulade, and the tart was also very tasty. So overall, it was okay, the first course. The scones, which is, for me, the acid test on any afternoon tea. If your scones are good, you generally go home happy. If they're bad, not so good. They were good scones. So got 2 of them. They came in nicely presented, served with some jam. They were slightly warm, really good consistency, really soft and light, and the cream was good. So overall, the scones course was first class, really good, really happy with that. Then we had the cakes, and there were 4 different cakes. Out of those cakes, 2 of them were really good. The other 2 were okay. Well, one of them was okay, and then the strawberries and cream, I think they could do better than that. That seemed like an afterthought to do that. So overall, what's my assessment of this afternoon tea? Oh, the other thing was the tea. So you get just 1 pot of tea at the start. You don't get a refill. You can have a refill, but you have to pay for it. It's the same with the food. If you want a refill on the food, I did ask, can you refill the sandwiches or the scones or the cakes? You can, but you're charged for that. So you have to pay extra. So we didn't do that because we didn't need to. I feel quite full after all the food. So what's my overall assessment? Well, I think it's actually a really nice environment here. It's a really nice room, lively, chatty, really good location. They've decked it out really nicely. It's quite upmarket, really quite good. Sorry. Really quite good. Sorry, my server's just interrupted me, but I'll just carry on. So I think overall the experience is nice. It's a really good environment. It gives you a good flavour of afternoon tea. So I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a budget option. If you don't want to pay £200, which is a lot of money, this gives you the same flavour, it gives you the experience, you get everything that you'd want from an afternoon tea. So based on all of that, what's my score for the Rails afternoon tea? I'm going to give it a very solid 8 out of 10. I think given the price and it's good value for money, there was a lot of good elements to it. There were some very good parts to it. So overall, I'll definitely recommend it. It's an 8 out of 10. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again on the next